Good morning, Auto 2. We're going to spend just a few minutes this morning looking at breaker point ignition system or contact breaker point ignition system, or what we usually just call as point ignition system. So what I would like to do is look up here on the screen at these points, and I've got a pair right here in my hand. I'm going to hold up to the camera. And remember, the purpose of this switching device, again, I'm putting my hand there so hopefully it focuses on it. Purpose of this switching device is to turn on and off the current flow. You can see them now through the primary windings of the coil. So when you turn the key on and you're running, remember you got an ignition bypass circuit for cranking, and then you have a resistance circuit, at least on point types, where power goes through the few hundred turns of heavy wire. The primary makes a magnetic field and goes to ground through those point faces. When the distributor shaft spins and the cam comes around and hits that rubbing block, opens those points, it breaks contact to ground, current flow stops the primary, and you collapse the magnetic field and get a high voltage surge in the secondary, which makes the spark. So breaker points are an ignition system switching device. Let's keep going here. So just a couple things. So the cam, again, is these lobes on that shaft. That would be a 4-cylinder one, and granted, in the picture they're not very pronounced. Contact points are going to switch and give us a coil primary ground. So when they're closed, we go to ground. When they're open, we don't have a path to ground. There's a condenser so that when we open, to reduce the arcing, electricity can go into this condenser, which is a 12-foot or so roll of basically aluminum foil, and it holds electrons, electricity, keeps it from arcing at the points. Okay. So here's how it works. So as the distributor rotates, the cam opens the points once for each cylinder. So this would be a 4-cylinder engine. The spring, there's a little spring arm that's going to force it closed when it's off cam. When the points are closed, this is the coil magnetic field buildup time, or what we call dwell on time or dwell time. When the points open, the current flow through the primary windings ceases to flow. The field collapses, and we get a high voltage sent to our spark plug, and we make a spark. So the amount of time in degrees that the points are open here is what we call dwell. Okay, so the on time is the dwell time. On time of the current flow, I just said something wrong. Pardon me, stop. It's not this right here. It's not this right here. It's this right here. So this is where the points are closed, representing the time that the current's flowing through the primary windings of the coil. That's the dwell time. That's the on time of the coil. So dwell is this V in here between the 2 point lobes when the points are closed and they're not touching the rubbing block. All right, I corrected myself. Thanks. Next, that's it. So that's just a little tiny bit about points, and now we'll look at another system.